Green blouse and a red head. Incredibly revolutionary. I know! I know! Let's get ready. Purpose of today's video, it's a bit of a flex. We're gonna take a look at the new Pat Mcgrath foundation. Just bought it, haven't even taken it out of the package, so I thought I'd put it on camera. So I'm gonna do a little bit of skin prep first with, I've got some Japanese Hyaluronic Serum and then some Province Apothecary. And I'll likely do my eyes off camera, and then we'll come back and get into the foundation. Okay, I'm back. I hope the audio is okay. I have to have this little fan going on my face because it's just flipping hot here in Canada. Okay, so I did a little bit of an eye using the Mothership Subversive from Pat Mcgrath. Ooh, it's all greasy. I was eating chips while I did my eyes. Oops. Anyways, let's get down to it. Ta-da! So I bought this foundation. I mean, I was really excited when I heard she was launching a foundation. I've been obsessed with Pat Mcgrath since I was a kid. Growing up watching fashion television, she was kind of a staple there. And I have purchased quite a few of her products since she launched. But let's get down to this. So I was a bit of a dummy and had like $100 bill of birthday cash just burning a hole in my pocket. So on Monday night, I happened to be downtown and strolled into Sephora and did some swatches, and I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Little did I know Tuesday morning I'd get an email announcing that VIB would get 15% off from Tuesday for the next week or so. So I screwed myself out of about 15% of the price, which came to, so $90 plus tax, $101.70 Canadian dollars. Definitely the most expensive foundation I've ever purchased. Prior to that, the most expensive would have been Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, which is like $80 maybe, and I love that one. So anyways, got my birthday drunk elephant thing. We'll see. I don't know. But here she is, ladies and germs. Oof, oof, I haven't even taken the plastic off. Let's do it together. I've heard other people mention, and it is kind of like opening a pack of cigarettes. Not that I've ever done that before, but you like peel off the plastic outside, and then you've got your, ooh, yes. Look at that. I love it. I love it. Okay, so I should mention it's called Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. Okay, buildable, perfecting coverage, weightless texture, sublime satin finish, runway tested, mother approved. Okay, so I'm in the shade Light 3. Ooh, yeah, and that's what the bottle looks like. Can you see it? Oh, it's so beautiful. It's heavy. It's like a double wear. It's heavier than double wear foundation, but it's that same kind of frosted glass. Beautiful, 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 and it has a pump, which is nice as well. So I was unsure at first about what color to get, but I happened to see Samantha Ravindal test this out, and she used Light 3, which I thought would be too light for her, and it kind of was, but it was the right kind of undertone. And it worked out for me. It's, they call it a neutral undertone, and I'm kind of neutral but lean warm. So it does have a bit of a yellow undertone, which I think will work well. So we're just going to get right into it. Now I do have a damp beauty blender ready to go. However, this is sold and marketed to be used with a brush, so I'm probably going to use a brush. Also because it looks like it's a bit of a watery texture, and I prefer to use a brush for those types of foundations. I was like that high on being downtown and doing some shopping that if Sephora had been selling the brushes, the $50 friggin' foundation brush, I probably would have bought it. It looks really nice. And I haven't thought about purchasing brushes in a long time because I've been quite satisfied with my expansive Real Techniques collection for quite some time. Cheers, let's get into it. So I'm gonna maybe do one side of my face and then zoom in and do the other. We'll see how it goes. And let's see if I can pump this out on camera properly. There it is. There she is. Okay. Here we go. Start over here. I'm pretty red and blotchy here today. It's not really picking up on camera, but I promise it's there. I'm just picking some up on my brush. So it is really quite thin, which I don't mind. That's the vibe I get from Luminous Silk as well. And it's a lot dewier than I thought it would be. Just blending it all in. I think it's a good match. I think it did kind of just disappear. Gonna look a little bit closer. Now this part of my face is always the driest, and so I am a little bit concerned about how it's going to look there. But so far, it's good. It almost looks like nothing. nothing, tra-la-la. I'm going to put a little bit on my chin. It looks very white on camera, but in person, it's definitely a little more yellow. But I think it's like a really good match. It almost has a smell. Not exactly a fragrance, but maybe I'll see how it is on my forehead with the sponge. Yeah, that's not doing much, as I suspected, because the sponge just kind of soaks it all up because it's so liquid. Yeah, looking like skin. Maybe I'll zoom in a bit. It kind of reminds me of Charlotte Tilbury Light Wonder Foundation. Now it has set up a little bit on this side, and it's still kind of wet and dewy there. I'm going to put what's left of my brush on my nose. I always prefer to put as little as possible foundation on my nose, because no matter the formula, it just doesn't wear well. And my glasses can kind of ruin the foundation around the bridge of my nose anyhow. Okay. What do we think? Let's focus up, focus up. Yeah. It's definitely not full coverage. I know some people were complaining about that in reviews, but like, not every foundation needs to be full coverage. And I mean, seems like a very like Pat McGrath motherly thing, where she's coming from, you know, a runway editorial background, and so they want to be able to just build coverage rather than having it like full on right away. Okay. It looks like to me, like in person, like there's nothing on my skin. I've just been evened out. Yeah, so far, like it really reminds me of my other primo foundations, like Armani Luminous Silk and Charlotte Tilbury Light Wonder. So I mean, my major skin concerns are always dryness, redness, and then like some darkness and discoloration around my eyes. So I'm lucky in that I don't have like a lot of raised skin or bumpy texture. Other than like right here, I get super dry. And it's not like sticking to anything. I feel like throughout the day, if I wear it for quite a while, I could imagine this part of my skin getting pretty dry. Yeah. I'm gonna come back and put my other skin products on top, so like the blushes and highlighters that I would typically put on top, just to see how it performs. Okay, I'm also gonna take a little bit just to use around my eyes as concealer. Because I do need to build up some coverage there. But I don't feel like interrupting the flow of the foundation by adding a bunch of concealer on top of it, just to see how we do. I feel like this foundation would also be great applied with your hands and your fingers, a la Mother Pat. I feel like I could picture that. I mean, yeah, it's $100, but it might be the last foundation I'll ever need. I hope it's permanent. I'm assuming it would be permanent in her collection. I bought so much Pat McGrath stuff right off the bat because I was like, this is limited edition stuff! I'll never be able to get it again! She's so exclusive, and she's just doing this as like, I don't know, a special project. But now a lot of the stuff is permanent, and that's fine, but I wouldn't have invested so much in my collection right off the bat. It does have kind of a funky smell. Not a perfume, not a fragrance. It's something. Even the Armani Luminous Silk tends to kind of like bunch up a little bit around here where I'm dry. This isn't happening here yet. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Blush. So I'm going to try doing a cream blush and then a powder blush, like a couple of my go-tos. So this is the Milk Makeup This I typically swipe right on, so I'm going to do that and hope for the best. Kind of looks like putting lipstick on your cheeks, on your cheekers. And I'm going to tap, 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 tap. How about this arm position? Yeah. Okay, so just a little bit of color in my cheeks. Looks great. Can we say? She's perfect. And on the other side, I'm going to do a powder blush just to compare. This is the Sleek Makeup Rose Gold. My all-time fave. All-time, probably. We'll see. See how long I last. It's definitely more intense just because, you know, it's powder versus the cream. And finally I'm going to put on some highlighter. So we'll do a Pat McGrath highlighter on my cream side. What is this called? Skin Fetish Highlighter and Balm Duo. So I'll probably just use the highlighter side, which looks like this. This is in the shade Nude. Just gonna rub it on my finger, get it warmed up, and then ding 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 ding. So nice. She's natural. Oh, what a surprise. This product works perfectly with the foundation. And then on the other side, I actually have this Pat McGrath Labs Fine Gold Pigment 003, which came in one of those limited edition, like, sequin packages originally. Looks like this. But it's, from what I can tell, the, like, lightest yellow, pale yellow shade that's available in her trio of powder highlighters that you can get now. So I haven't purchased that for the exact reason that I've got this one already. And let's see. I don't know if I've ever worn this on my face. We'll see what happens. Ooh, boom! Boom, boom! Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot and it's very yellow. That's okay. I love gold. I mean, yeah. I'm gonna just put a bit of that on this side too. Really go to town with it. Some of this, why not? Okay. What to say? Maybe let's put some lips on and we can ruminate on it. It's looking great. It's looking a lot like Armani Luminous Silk, but about $20 more expensive. So I have a Pat McGrath lipstick here in Omi 107 Mattetrance. Got this puppy on buns. It's pretty dope. I usually like to apply my lipstick pretty full on, but I'm trying to be more delicate. working that in with a brush. Oh, what a cute little rosy look. So, I mean, at this point, I might powder a bit under my eyes. Like, there's quite a bit of shine on my nose, IRL. But it doesn't bother me. I think it looks great. It's looking like my skin, but better! Pat McGrath. Queen, the ultimate. She was really the first makeup artist that I ever really, like, looked up and got excited about and knew about. What do we think? What do we think about it? I think it looks amazing. I'm not like, oh god, what did I spend all my money on? At least not yet. We'll see. If I can remember to, I'll wear it around for a bit today and come back to y'all. But probably I'll just forget. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed this. If you've tried this foundation, let me know in the comments. Or if you think, it's way too much money. It is way too much money to spend, but I've thought about all of Pat McGrath's makeup as like an investment and a collector's item, and I mean it's pretty special. Like, you're not feeling discounted with these products. They're just gorgeous. I did happen to record myself unboxing and opening some of those old limited edition Pat McGrath packages, the ones that came with the sequins that go everywhere. It was quite a while ago that I recorded them, so I'm not sure about the quality, but if you want to see it, I'll try and piece it together for you. Bye.
Okay, so that's a premature goodbye. I'm back to let you know that it's been a few days since I first tried this foundation, and so I have a better sense of, you know, how it's performing, and overall, I really, really like it. And I'm trying to say that as genuinely, sincerely as possible without, you know, considering my predilection and affection for Pat McGrath, and also to make myself feel better about the price tag. Yeah, and I'm gonna continue to wear it and make sure that I still love it. But just some final thoughts on how it makes me feel about my skin. Firstly, I like that it evens out my skin tone. It's not like a high coverage product, but it's one of those that just disappears into the skin and all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, I like the way my skin looks now. I'm not upset about this. And it has a very radiant finish, but it's not like dewy and sticky. I find that a lot of the times when I do wear like a dewy foundation, you don't get the coverage and the evening out that you want, but this does that, and looks so radiant that it's almost like you just put highlighter on. There's a few times where I haven't put highlighter on top of my foundation because I just didn't think it needed it, which for a dry skin person is pretty nice because my skin can look pretty dull. So the texture, just as you saw on screen, is like so thin it's almost like water, so it does feel like nothing on the skin, which is so nice. And it's the only foundation I've ever found that I think looks great on my nose. Like I said, I often don't even put foundation on my nose because I know it's just gonna like bunch up and cake or like smear and not last and just look dry and patchy. But this looks great. Um, like I was wearing it this past weekend at work, and it lasted well. Especially for a radiant foundation. It does tend to gather a little bit in my smile lines, but just like the teeniest bit, and I could just press my finger over it and then it was gone. It isn't transfer resistant, but I don't think it claims to be. And it sets itself, so like even parts of my face that I did not set with the titch of powder, eventually just sets and like feels like your skin. It lasted well, as I said, through work, and I was even at work with a bit of a cold this week, and so I was blowing my nose, and I was drinking splashy soup, and it worked great, even better than like some long-wearing foundations I've tried. And it also didn't automatically look bad on the drier parts of my skin, like some foundations do. Even some high-end foundations, like as soon as I put them on, I'm like, great, my cheeks are dry and gross. And finally, I think the color match is really good. It just like disappears into my skin. And so, good news, I didn't waste $100. Thanks again for watching. Let me know what you think. Okay, bye.